Hello everybody, it is me, FujiSuji, and today we'll be talking about chapter 1036 of One Piece. I'm thinking of switching it up a little bit, and instead of a longer summary and a short discussion, I'm thinking of a short summary and a longer discussion, so let's get on to the summary. By the way, if you want to see some more content like this, go ahead and click subscribe. If you want to express some of your opinions, go ahead and comment down below, and if you like or dislike the video, go ahead and like, or dislike obviously. But let's go ahead and start the actual discussion and summary. So pretty much we start where the last one ended, and King is out there, his wing is cut in half, and Zoro is blasting through, and apparently both these people are off of Onigashima. They're pretty much off the map, and we get a quick little flashback of Kaido and King talking to each other. Kaido asks King if he's Joy Boy and if he can save the world. King just says, "I don't care. You gave me all that I ever wanted, to be free and to be away from persecution, and all you gotta do for me is just keep being the strongest, so I'll be safe." We also got to Zoro, who also has a flashback, and in this flashback it's back in Baratie when he told Luffy that from now on I will never ever lose again, and well, he hasn't, except if you count like Kuma and all them. But essentially what happens is he reflects on what he said to Luffy, and he says, well, I'll be the strongest and never lose again, even if it means that I become the king of hell. I like this little comparison between these two because both of them want their leader to be the king of the pirates, but one of them tries to become a monster, tries to push their limits. Zoro, similar to Chopper and Frankie, who become like monstrous just to help out Luffy, compared to King, who does become powerful, but doesn't really push their limits to the furthest to become the strongest, mainly because, you know, he's afraid for his identity being shown. But what could have happened is Kaido normalizes King's race, so people don't snitch on him if nothing happens, and he becomes like a symbol of pure power instead of being like a race, just a bag of money in people's eyes. Soon Zoro comes back to the island using his sword powers, and Bao Huang gets the memo that King's been defeated, and CP0 members hear this as well and react with a lot of shock. They say the Tobiropa have been defeated, so have the Calamities, but don't worry, we still have two monsters roaming around, referring to Kaido and Big Mom. And it makes sense, because why be so like focused on all these people being defeated when you still realize there's two Yonko still alive, still fighting, and this battle is still not over. So let's see what's gonna happen, right? Now as CP0 is saying this, we see Big Mom with her flaming hair like she did when she was having that hunger pain trying to get that cake one time. You know Big Mom's for real when she has her hair on fire, so that's definitely interesting. After this we get a little rundown about a couple things. We see Momonosuke pulling out of flame clouds. We see what will happen if Onigashima found the flower capital, and the pressure would make the whole weapons room explode. And finally we see the pathing of the flame thing, the flame monster that Kanjuro made, going down to the weapons room. Now we cut to Yamato. Yamato asks one of her number friends, Fuga, to help her out in beating up another number so she can have her way through, since she's so low on time obviously, and unintentionally helps Yamato out again by breaking the door, so Yamato will have a lot easier time going through. After we get a little scene with Usopp helping out Kinemon and Kiku, they're both dying a little bit. Kiku a little bit more on the death area, and both of them want to save each other from dying and want to be like the martyr and die. Usopp is just so confused by this mindset, and he's like, why would you try to have dignity trying to save other people? If I was in this situation, I would just live. I don't care how bad I look. I don't care what happens. I want to keep on living, because if I live, I still have a purpose. I don't know what someone else is going to do. Because of times where I chose to live, I'm here with you right now. So why do all this? While he says all this, he's about to be attacked by Kaido's subordinates, and coming in clutch out of nowhere, Izo comes. And we see Izo ripping the Kozuki shield and tells everyone to live, because if you really believe in Luffy, you should live, because that's what he wants. And Izo departs saying, go ahead, I trust you, God Usopp. Usopp's just like, thanks man. And then he says, I'll take care of it, go ahead. After all this happens, we move on to Raizo and Fukurokuchi, which are on the whole ninjutsu battle, right? And they're using this one paralysis technique, almost like Shikamaru's one. Remember when he like grabbed the shadow and he could move it around if he wanted to? Kind of like that, but they're just sitting still. And as this happens, the fire from the fire monster starts leaking downwards. And it turns out Raizo starts burning first. Fukuroku's like, oh, thank God, bro. As soon as you die, I'll finally be free because I can't do anything now, but the fire's gonna take care of you. We then move on to Komurasaki chilling with Orochi. Orochi's like, why is Fukuroku so late? And it's really not that big of a scene. It's just a little filler scene to see what's happening to Orochi right now. Maybe she might pull a little like kill technique. I don't know. It really seemed kind of necessary, but we'll see. We then cut to a CP0 member who's like, have you caught Nico Robin? And they're like, nah, we're working on it though. The other member's like, try to leave the castle as soon as possible. The calamities have been defeated. If this new generation wins this battle, who knows what will happen. The tensions in the world are blowing up right now, and this could just add on to the chain of events and could fuel the next generation just taking all over. And then they say this one chilling line, what happens in the next few minutes will determine the new era. And this is crazy. We haven't seen much of the outside world, so this really hits different. While this happens, we see Sanji, whose brow is back to normal. We see everybody fighting, Killer, Beppo, Zoro, Law, and Big Mom. And the boss replies to this other member by saying, well, that's true, but this is as far as humans can go. Which really puts this in perspective. To beat a Yonko, you need to go above and beyond, push the human limits, push further than humans can even reach. After you reach this point, you're practically a monster. Like what the boss said earlier in the chapter, these are monsters. Finally, we end the chapter with a little scuffle between Luffy and Kaido. And in the scuffle, he uses this new move where he inflates his arm pretty much like the elephant gun move, but it's just pretty much Haki infused and Conqueror's Haki infused. But what's most impressive is the final couple of panels where Luffy's like, oh, I'm kind of having fun. And Kaido smiles back and he's like, so am I. This is kind of interesting because most battles we've seen in One Piece, it's about like Luffy overtaking the villain, obviously, but it's in pure anger and hatred. And obviously, Luffy definitely doesn't think Kaido's a good person, but it's interesting that they're both having so much fun while fighting each other. It's like Luffy's testing his limits, his new powers of Conqueror's Haki, and Kaido's finally has a worthy opponent. Kind of like that one Kung Fu Panda meme. And wow, it's interesting, definitely. So let's move on to more of an analysis of this, a discussion. There's two things I really want to discuss. I've discussed the final one already, about Luffy and Kaido, but I want to discuss more so the one about King talking to Kaido in that one flashback. So in this flashback, King says, he talks about Joy Boy. Well, Kaido talks to King about Joy Boy, and he's like, do you still think that I'm Joy Boy? And the fact that he said this, it kind of explains a lot of things to us. It pretty much clears the idea of where he found out Joy Boy, meaning Kaido's knowledge of Joy Boy didn't stem from knowing in the Rocks Pirates, as if, Whitebeard and Big Mom probably also knew it, right? It probably came from King, who told him directly, probably while they're in the prison cell, similar to how Who's Who found out about the sun god Nika, right? That does really clear a lot of things up. And another one I want to touch up on is Usopp's philosophy clashing with the samurai philosophy of being a martyr, saving everybody else, sacrificing your life, dying in a worthy place. He just thinks, why die in the right place than to just live as long as you want and then die somewhere else. It doesn't matter where you die as long as you live a good life, right? Another thing I like to talk about would be the CP0 talking about the chain of events happening in the world. What really is happening? Maybe more pirates are coming into power, more people are going against the government, maybe there's like complete turmoil because of what Morgan said. We really don't know what's happening. It could be crazy, it could be a little bit, maybe just the pirates, maybe it's the whole world. We really just don't know what's happening because we're in Wano. It's very interesting to me. Also, I kind of forgot to speak on this in the Usopp issue. Because of Usopp's mindsets like this, imagine how it's going to be like in Elbaf. They probably don't have the same thing as in Wano, but they probably have that type of fight to the death type of mindset, and Usopp definitely doesn't agree with that, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think that's it for the discussion. Maybe a little bit about how Kaido likes fighting, maybe he's having fun, maybe his whole thing, him being so sad, was because of being so strong that he fulfilled his duties. He thought he couldn't reach up to the Pirate King status. He just felt like he wasn't fit to be, not the Pirate King, the Joy Boy. So he felt like he couldn't be that high up. He could never accomplish that. But he could still be a Pirate King, but he can't find the poneglyphs. He's still in that process. So he's in this limbo place where he's not quite as happy as he could be. He's already so strong, but he hasn't achieved his goals yet. And obviously Luffy appearing doesn't really help out on the whole poneglyphs and helping out and being the Pirate King. He's not going to help out anytime soon, but it definitely helps out that being strongest and not having a worthy opponent. And there's probably some other deeper meaning to this as well. I definitely want to see a good Kaido flashback, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 chapters. Hell, we don't even know how long Wano's gonna end. Act 3 has been like 78 chapters, something like that. That's some crazy number. And I don't know, man. Other than that, I've nothing else to say really. And well, I'm FujiSuji, and have a good New Year, everybody.